Welcome to the Celtic Way, and it's this Celtic versus Kilmarnock line-up reaction. And as you can see in the strapline and the headline, it's Taylor returns as Idah and Kyogo continue to lead the line. And I'm Tony Haggerty, at Haggerty10 on the X or Twitter handle. Joining me somewhere near Parkhead is Ryan McGinley at the Ryan McGinley on the X or Twitter handle. Say Parkhead or Celtic Park to give it its real name, Ryan, its full name. But yep, and before we start, Ryan, I just wanted to say 100%, 11 out of 11 for you and I for our predicted.
We're not bad at this.
11s, yeah. I told you before, Brendan Rodgers clearly watches the morning briefing and it's tuned in to the dynamic duo here. Sometimes the tragic duo, depending. Add anything that you like there on that one. But
any adjective that uses.
Yes, correct. Indeed. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Celtic versus Kilmarnock. Ryan, I don't know, we spoke off here just before we came on and I told you I've got a good feeling about today. Do you share that good feeling with me?
I think so, yeah. Don't have that same bad feeling that I had before the Hearts game that was vindicated. I'm feeling pretty good about things today. It was a good performance at the Smythe Stadium just under a week ago now. So, yeah, the club's in a pretty good place. They can do nothing but control the controllables in this scenario. You know, Rangers have closed the gap, but we always thought that was going to be the case anyway. It's now up to what Celtic can do and put that pressure back on Rangers before they play tomorrow at McDermott Park in Perthshire. But yeah, a strong team. It's the team that I would have picked because, you know, it's the one that I predicted, and the predicted lineup's 11 out of 11. And a strong bench as well, a much stronger bench. If you look at the ticker tape at the bottom of the screen, I'm sure you would agree that it's a stronger squad altogether because of the return of the South Korean duo, Oh and Yang to proceedings, as well as Tomoki Iwata now available to play from the bench. So yeah, a lot of positives to take from that lineup reaction, or the lineup that's been announced roughly about 10 minutes ago. It's about the strongest team I think Celtic could name at the moment. So yeah, looking forward to this one.
Just glad he's kept faith with Kyogo and Idah leading the line. I'm delighted at that. It worked well last week, considering that was the first time. I'm just hoping now they've been working on it all week, and that bears fruit, Ryan, in a sense, with both of them getting amongst the goals. I'd like to see Idah score his first goal in front of the home crowd today, and that would be a great boost for his confidence. I'd like to see Kyogo continue to hit the back of the net. So yeah, excellent. I'm delighted with Brendan at that. So thank you, Brendan, for giving us 11 out of 11 in the team that we both predicted. Appreciate that. Some comments coming in already, Ryan. Over 100 people, 115 joining us. So thank you. Appreciate your company, guys. So Michael Duffin comes in. Big performance required, and 3 points should be a good day to judge Celtic's mental state. Correct. Sunder Scotland 67 afternoon, boys. He sat in the car waiting after his 4-hour journey from a dry Yorkshire to a rainy Glasgow. Enjoy it. It's always sunny in paradise, isn't it, Ryan? Christopher Patterson saying, good lineup. We just hope that Celtic win. They need to win and score a few goals as well. Fingers crossed. That's exactly what we're hoping for. And Northampton, Tim saying, the only thing is for him is that Maíra's better on the left. But there you go. Ryan, what are you expecting today? I know you're a big fan of Derek McInnes, and you say he's an early contender. He is a contender for Manager of the Year, isn't he? So, working wonders at Kilmarnock at Rugby Park. They've troubled Celtic and Rangers already this season. 3 wins between the League Cup and the League against both Celtic and Rangers this season. So, yeah, difficult game. You expect a really difficult one today?
But Brendan Rodgers yesterday was talking about the fact that the best team wins the league after 38 games. Also, the table doesn't lie. And as things stand at the moment, Kilmarnock are 4th place in the table. And that's down to merit. They're down to merit in their own performances this season. They've been tremendous. You've got to remember they were only promoted up to the top last season after that shocking relegation. You know, Kilmarnock, a team the size of Kilmarnock shouldn't really have relegation issues, but you know, nobody can escape that if you have a bad season. You know, you always run the risk of going down. McInnes came in, I think he came in midway through the season to replace Tommy Wright. and ever since then, I think he's been a big success for Kilmarnock. So he's doing a great job. He did a good job at Aberdeen before that. He's a good operator at this level, and his team will cause problems today for Celtic. Especially you look at Armstrong that plays on the wing. They've got Watson that plays as well. He's a player that I think Celtic should be looking at in the near future. They're looking for young Scottish talent to potentially come in. I think between Watson and Lennon Miller, those are the two players that Celtic should be looking to scout for potential youngsters coming through. Another Scottish team.
I've got to be honest, Brian, I'm a big fan of Danny Armstrong. I thought he used to have been a person of interest for Celtic long before this and talk about guys in the wide position, and I think he could be a much better player in a much better team, surrounded by much better players. I just say
it could be, yeah. He's I think the one thing that's going against him is his age, probably, because he's 26. Yeah. I didn't realise he was as old as that when I looked him up. I thought he was a young player that's just came through, but I think he was playing in the lower leagues. He was playing for Raith Rovers. Obviously, Raith Rovers had a great one last night against Dundee United, but they seem to be making good talent. I think he'd had a couple of more moves before then, but I think he could potentially go to like a Hearts or an Aberdeen or something if the money's right, or go down south. You've seen players go from the Premiership down south or even abroad and do a good job. But yeah, it's a really good team that Kilmarnock have. They're a really tight-knit team, not a lot of changes game by game, so they all know who they're playing with. And yeah, Derek McInnes is doing a really, really good job. It's going to be a difficult game for Celtic today. 4th place against 1st place at the moment. Let's hope it's a good game and Celtic come out the other end as worthy winners.
Yeah, lots of people wanting their say today, so we'll give them their say, Ryan. Let's do it. Jono, no excuses today. Early score essential. Here's hoping that happens. John will settle everybody down, including young Ryan there. Sean Gregg wants to see a good performance with 3-0 at least, as Celtic need to score a few goals. Paul Mullins comes in and says 3 points and a good performance. Hail, hail. Jimmy Widdrington asking, I wonder how long the Kelly goalkeeper will take at goal kicks and free kicks. And Patrick McLaughlin saying 3-0 today, he thinks. Sean Gregg just sort of saying, hello Ryan, hello Tony. Hello Sean, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Christopher Patterson, game's not even kicked off and already he's getting nervous. He should go into hibernation, he's saying. Pablo 67 saying he needs to win. Celtic need to win and win convincingly. And John Finnegan saying, hi Tony and Ryan, great show as always. Thank you very much for that. Sorry he was late because he was longer than expected. You're here now. We were just killing time you got here. There we have it. But yeah, I'm also looking today, Ryan. I'm hoping that a certain Matt O'Reilly rediscovers his golden boots and his golden touch. Yeah, we're looking for a big performance from him.
Yeah, return to form. I just think he's burned out the past couple of games and he's not shown his true level, the level that we've seen him perform at for the vast majority of the season. Want him to get either a goal or an assist, a goal contribution, but I also want him to dominate that midfield. Yep. Maybe he was getting... Maybe it was harmful having Bernardo and O'Reilly in the same team because the two of them do very similar tasks and they both look the same as well when you're looking from up, going down on and having a look at players. But maybe having just the one sort of player to do that will help Matt O'Reilly today. I don't want to put it down to the fact that he had those Atletico Madrid rumours, but it is true to suggest that since that point, and I'm just looking at games, I'm not looking at any rumours or anything like that whatsoever. He hasn't played at the same level since those rumours came to fruition. Now, it could play on his mind a little bit. The fact that you've been linked with Atletico Madrid, that's a big team, a big move for yourself. I'm not saying it would affect him, but even subconsciously it could. You're just wanting to get back on form. 13 games left of this season, plus any of the Scottish Cup games that you've got. We're going to need Matt O'Reilly to be playing his best stuff for the vast majority of those 13 games. So starting today, it's unlucky for some, the number 13, but it's got to be lucky for Matt O'Reilly. This has to be the start of that run that he's got from now until the end of the season to sort of cement his place as the player of the year, if anything else.
And also one of the commenters came on yesterday and made a very good point that he wants to cement his place in the Danish international squad for the Euros.
That's not a given at this point.
Correct, it's not a given. So... And we know fine well how the Danish international setup has treated him since he's gone in and how it's worked. He has managed to break through to that A team, but it's not a given. So I thought that was a really valid point that was made yesterday. And I'm sure that's the extra spur and kick that Matt O'Reilly will need, or if he wants one, to get that Euro 2024 place over the line as well as a possible Player of the Year and a Scottish Premiership and Scottish Cup double. So he's got a lot to play for in these 13 stroke 14, 15, 16 games it would be, wouldn't it, Ryan? Quarter final, semi final, final of the Scottish Cup. Should Celtic go all the way?
Yeah, I was saying that you want Celtic to treat every game like a Scottish Cup final until they get to the Scottish Cup final. Then I want them to treat that game like a cup final because they'll be there and then they'll be used to that feeling. They'll be used to playing in that higher pressure element or that scenario. So every game has got to be of the same importance. There is no more margin for error in this season. They need to be perfect from here on in. They need to win absolutely every single game or as many games as they can. I think both teams, both Celtic and Rangers, will drop points from now until the end of the season. They're hoping that Rangers are dropping points because Celtic have beaten them at Ibrox and Celtic Park respectively, but maybe some other games as well. Celtic have got to worry about themselves. We know that they can get up for those games, but it's these games today that have been the banana peel games over the course of the season. So they've got to get that right. They've got to get the goal difference back up and put a bit of pressure on Rangers because they're playing tomorrow. You can't make it easy for them to just stroll out, which I know it won't be an easy game at McDermott Park, but it gets a lot easier if Celtic drop points on that day because it gives them every motivation to go and close the gap even further. They could even go ahead if Celtic were to slip up today. So it's all about Celtic today. Get the goal difference up, get that victory in the bag, and then focus on the next game. But looking for a good performance today as well as some good goals.
Yep. Hazel Finn, afternoon Hazel, how you doing? If everybody turns up, should be enough to get us over the line. Hope Mattarelli turns up today. Yep, just alluded to that there. Yep. Suns of Scotland 67. The team needs to make a statement today. Celtic need to show why they're the champions of Scotland. Here's hoping that's the case. Suns of Scotland, appreciate that. Hercules, simple. Celtic are going to win the league, he says. Hope that's true. I hope you're right. We'll reconvene on that, as we say. 4-1 win for the Hoops today, says John Finnegan. Paulie Pittman, who's our latest subscriber. Welcome, Paul. How are you doing? Good afternoon. I'll try that again. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Looking forward to a game outside the stadium just now. This is a must-win. No slip-ups anymore. Can't be afforded. Indeed, Ryan just alluded to that as well. Sean Gray's got a good feeling for today, and I like the way that Celtic are set up, even though we like to see Idah next to Kyogo for the knockdown headers, but it might play out that way. Here's hoping that it does.
I think the way that I did the graphic for the predicted 11s and the actual team, I put Kyogo in that attacking midfield role because I think that's where he's going to be for most of the game. He's going to have he's not really going to have a stable position. He's going to be all over the place, and that's good for Kyogo because Kyogo can get involved in whatever he wants now. He's got a sort of free role in between the midfield and the attack, I reckon. Idah can be that focal point that will give the defenders problems, but Kyogo can chase lost causes. He can also pressurise opponents and get on the end of Idah's headers that he can maybe bring down to him. I hope that this works between the two of them because it could be an exciting partnership. I like the partnership earlier on this season between Matt O'Reilly and Kyogo. I'm hoping that there can maybe be a three-way partnership when O'Reilly, Kyogo and Idah today.
Yep. Willie Cree comes in. This is a big game today and a must for 3 points for Celtic. Every single player needs to stand up in the county and fight for each other, but also fight for the jersey. He's saying, come on, Celtic, let's do this. 240 people joining us. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Always do. Pablo 67, need to start quick. Early goal will help settle Celtic. Here's hoping that's the case. Ross Evans saying, looks like Celtic are set up for a fight. Hopefully Kyogo can cause trouble between the Kilmarnock lines. And there was another question that came in here. I'm going to flick it up, and it's Matthew McGarry. And you might have noticed this on the news this morning, Ryan. He wanted your opinion on Rangers cancelling the tickets, the Celtic tickets for the Women's Old Firm game tomorrow at Ibrox. Sorry, I said Old Firm there because I was reading it.
Glasgow Derby.
The Glasgow Derby, yes, before anybody jumps on my case, I was reading the... yes, indeed. So Celtic have had their tickets cancelled for that women's game at Ibrox tomorrow, isn't that right?
Feel for the young girls that want to go and watch their team in a Glasgow Derby. Very last minute that their tickets have been cancelled. I just
safety concerns, wasn't it? I believe safety concerns. Is that right?
I just think you should hire more stewards then. If there is any safety concerns, it's a game of football at the end of the day. I think it's very, very last minute, the fact that they can. Extremely disappointing. The club have made that known that they're extremely disappointed with the decision. Would have been a showpiece game, but with just over 24 hours to go. I'm not sure exactly when the two teams kick off tomorrow. I'm presuming it's afternoon, evening time. That is a very disappointing development, and I feel for the fans, especially the young girls that want to watch their heroes that suddenly can't anymore because of presumed safety concerns. I don't understand that one, to be honest with you.
It's also a very late call too, as you said, and obviously the two clubs will get together and thrash out. I think they're talking about getting together and making sure that the Celtic supporters who had tickets for that match, which have been scrapped, will get their refunds in due course. So hopefully that all goes smoothly. But a big disappointment, as you say, for lots of women who want to go and watch their heroes, and we try and promote the women's game as much as possible, but it kind of portrays it in a negative light, that a wee bit, doesn't it, to be fair?
It's now the story now is the fact that fans not going to the game rather than the showpiece game itself, which is a big game in the Scottish Women's Premiership. It is a disappointing. I'm not. I've only glossed over the story, so I haven't read the ins and outs of the story myself. But it is a disappointing development. You want these Glasgow derbies, much like the men's game and the women's game. You want both teams to be represented. I certainly do anyway. I know a lot of people have different opinions on that. For me, the supporters going to the Glasgow derby is half the battle. It makes it more of a derby because you've got one set of fans, you've got the opposing fans, and you've got the rivalry that comes with that. I just think that there was green shoots of recovery by letting Celtic fans into that women's game, and now that those have been quite sharply cut down, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Polly Pittman comes in and says it's a shame because she goes to every game with the girls with her daughter, and even went to Ibrox the last game. She's very disappointed, especially her daughter, but they're there in paradise today, so hopefully you can enjoy a show today in Celtic put on a show. Get your predictions coming in the comment section, and I'll read as many of them out as possible. Got a few here. Mo Sislak saying 4-1 to Celtic. John Ingalls saying 3-0 to Celtic. He's even said Idah, Kyogo and Maida. And Hazel Finn saying she doesn't know why, but 4-1 keeps coming to her mind. She just hopes the fans roll Celtic to victory. Northampton Tim saying he's gone for 4-0, a Kyogo double. There's a 5-1 shout here for somebody. T1 saying 3-0 at half time. Settle for that. Somebody put
settle in for that full time.
Yeah, Sean Gregg saying 4-0 Celtic. Pablo 67 3-1. T1 saying that Idah will get a hat trick. 3-1 Pablo 60. And Helen McCallum 2-1 Celtic. That's a bit too close for comfort for me. And David McGowan saying he's got 3-0, 3-1, 4-0 and 4-1. Hedging his bets there. Craig McMeekin 3-0 early opener, he's saying. So there you go. Ryan,
do you know what I'm looking forward to?
You go on, tell me.
I'm looking forward to seeing how Palma can get the ball into the box to Idah, more of a focal point than Kyogo. I'm looking forward to seeing that transpire. I think, the last time Palma played Kilmarnock at home, he scored an absolute screamer, I remember. I think that was his first goal for Celtic as well. Rio Hatate had an absolute stormer of a game that day. Wishing him well, hoping he returns very soon, Rio Hatate, because I think he'll get back into the squad straight away. But yeah, I want to see Palma get some crosses into the box and let Idah do the business. I don't think he scored. I think I'm right in saying that Idah hasn't scored that many headers in his career, which is quite surprising considering he's 6'2", 6'3". That sort of. He's more of a. But I think you're seeing that nowadays in football. A lot of taller strikers aren't these, sort of stereotypical target men anymore. You see that down south with Newcastle. We've had with Alexander Idah. He isn't really a target man. He likes playing with the ball at his feet. It's this sort of next evolution of a player. Even looking back a wee bit, look at Tom Rogic. I know he was an attacking midfielder. He hardly scored any headers for the club, even though he was 6'2", 6'3". He had that low centre of gravity, even though he was over 6 foot, and he could just beat players with ease. So the game is changing, but you've got to use that height to your advantage. And if you're 6'2", you should be getting on the end of some crosses. I'd like to see Idah score a couple of goals today, including an open play goal. It's good that he can take penalties, but I want him scoring from open play, and let's see what he can do. I want him to earn this permanent contract. I know he's not got an option to buy, but I want him to have such an impact that Celtic have no choice in the matter but to sign him, because he's that because he's that acclimatised to his new surroundings. I have been impressed with him so far. I was impressed with his work off the ball against Hibernian. He was a wee bit quieter against St Mirren, but you'll have 60,000 fans cheering him on today, and I'm hoping that he can get a couple of open goals from open play rather than penalties from 12 yards. If he can take a penalty, absolutely brilliant, but I don't want him relying on that for goals.
Sure. Welsh Paul comes in and says Celtic 4-0 and St Johnstone to get a point tomorrow. You heard it first from Welsh Paul. And Matthew Fay coming in and saying Ralston's great in the overlap when he can deliver great balls into the box as well. That's a pertinent point because Ralston is very good at getting into on the overlap and hitting the ball into that
whips across in rather than floats it in.
He always tried to find Kyogo in an area, didn't he? So here's hoping that Celtic can benefit from that. Yeah. So, yep, indeed. And Polly Pittman coming back in and saying she wants her opinions on Palmer. She just thinks in some games he doesn't involve himself enough and she's very disappointed in him and she prefers Bernardo. I think if you've just been tuning into the briefing, you'll have heard my thoughts on Palmer from a couple of weeks ago when he missed the 2 penalties, took the exact same penalty, and I was all for resting him, wasn't I, Ryan? I wasn't happy.
I don't know if rest was the word you used.
Lackadaisical approach, no, exactly, yeah. So I think, like you, Polly can disappear and not involve himself much, and that disappoints me. Ryan's a wee bit more. Ryan cuts him a fair bit of slack for me because of his.
He's been Celtic's best winger this season. That's by almost by default.
Goals.
But
yeah,
but his numbers are good, and that's the reason why he's in the team. I do want to see a bit of Yang today as well. Maybe in the last half an hour, 25 minutes. I think there's a player there. It's just about Celtic honing that talent and getting them ready for the physicality of the Scottish League. If he can do that, then when he's in the mood, he looks like he can beat any player on the park whatsoever. Yeah. So Palmer, I'm absolutely happy. I'm happy with Palmer starting because I think he can make a difference. He's something. Even if he's having a bad game, and he has had a couple of bad games, you're almost inclined to keep him on the pitch because he's got a bit of magic in those boots. Albeit the magic's not been there as much as it was at the start of the season, but I just think there's a player there, and if you nurture him and get him, and you sort of brush off all the rough edges, then I think he'll be a great player for Celtic if he can keep that consistency going. Because he did have a good game against St Mirren, albeit the dive was quite dreadful, to be honest. But, if he can keep up those goal contributions, then I don't think anybody will have a complaint with him being in the team. He's just that sort of player.
Yeah, Marky's saying Palmer delivers when he needs to, and Craig McMeekin laughing at me saying Tony's still haunted by those 2 penalties. Some man,
you'll never give them up. You will never give them.
Just the way he did it, I'm not happy. Still not, and I'm not. I don't have a downer on him. I like what he brings to the team. Sometimes I just wish he would do it more often because it is there. But he allows himself to be inconsistent and drift out matches and stuff. Sean Gregg saying he's not convinced by Palmer. He would have played Yang. There you go. And T1 saying Palmer has a superb cross of the ball. He can cross it in superb at times. He can also take good digs from outside the box. And Nick Bartram Savage saying Yang's 100% more dangerous on the left side. Again, it's all opinions, isn't it, guys? So there you do. There you go. Andy's saying all you need to get your comment up was Brendan mentioned is be a hot blonde, evidently. Andy was just, it's random. We just go through the comments as we're coming in, but there you go. I don't know if anybody's. I don't think Nick Bertram Savage is a hot blonde, is he? But there you go. It's just if you've got something to say, Andy, see it. There you go. We'll put it in the comment section. We'll maybe read it out. We're a broad church here, aren't we, Ryan? We're always a broad church here. Yeah. There's over 300 hot blondes joining us allegedly. There you go, 312. But hey, Andy, put your comment in. We'll try and read it out, sir. Okay. Welsh Paul, he's not a hot blonde. Oh well. But we still read your comments out, Welsh Paul, don't we? So there you go. Sure, Tony. Laugh out loud. My middle name's Penny. Brilliant. Guys, keep your comments coming in. We'll read as many as we can. Lots of optimism abounding today, Ryan, which is good. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah, confidence is always a good thing. I think we've got something to back it up on, though, because we got that Celtic got that Hibs win, which, you know, they didn't play at their best, but then they played a bit better against St Mirren. You're hoping that now, you know, the result against Hibs, the performance against St Mirren, put them both together, and let's see a good performance and result against Kilmarnock today. Going to be a difficult game, as we said before. You know, fourth in the table. They've got a couple of Celtic scalps this season. They've got a Rangers scalp too. The results have been pretty consistent over the course of the season. I think they've had maybe a bit of a downturn. I think there was somebody in the comments that was saying that was maybe they've had quite a few draws. But, you know, if you're getting points in your Kilmarnock and you're consolidating your place, then I think you're doing pretty well. Fourth place, I don't think the stats lie at that point of the at this point of the season. If you're February and you're still there or thereabouts. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult game today, but it's one that I expect Celtic to come through. They've got the talent on the pitch. They've also got the talent on the bench. One person I didn't see on the bench, and let me just have a wee look to see. I'm just having a wee. Didn't see Odin Thiago Home on the bench, or Rocco Vata, either. Two young players that I would have expected to maybe make them at the bench, but you know, they're both not quoted. So for whatever reason, Odin Home, and there hasn't been any talk of an injury or that, so it must be tactical. If that's the case, then you might need to do a bit more to get back into the first team setup. But yeah, he's a player that I wanted to see more of, because I think that he brings that agility that Celtic need in the midfield to break lines. But you know, he's not named in the team again today, so he's going to have to work a bit harder in training to get back into Brendan Rodgers' thoughts, I guess.
Indeed. Now, I just get a feeling that I think those two defeats to Kilmarnock this season will spur Celtic on. They'll never admit it publicly, but I think privately Celtic will be seething at that, and they'll feel that they owe Kilmarnock one. And I think today is the very day to. I don't like words like revenge and all that kind of stuff, but I think if you need any more fuel or fire in the belly, then you just look at those two reverses to Kilmarnock at Rugby Park this season and think, do you know what? We never turned up on both of those occasions, and we're a far better team than that, and go out and show exactly why you're champions. And I would have the bit between my teeth for that alone, Ryan. You know, you need every kind of motivation that you can in these last 13 games. I would be like looking at that to right those wrongs of the season, or earlier this season, because Celtic were quite pitiful in both of those Kilmarnock games at Rugby Park, you have to say.
Yeah, I thought they were okay in the first half of that game. They got the goal and went ahead. Yeah, I think they got the goal, was it in the second half? A lot of these games are sort of rolling into one this season, so it's difficult to remember. Matt O'Reilly got the goal, and then Celtic absolutely collapsed. I think a large part of that was down to the fact that Nat Phillips chose that game to have a complete disaster. You know, he's now at Cardiff City, so he's away from the club, so we don't need to worry about that sort of performance anymore. But yeah, I don't really subscribe to the whole revenge thing. I think Celtic will take every game as it comes, regardless of who they play against. They'll be up for every game, regardless of the fact if they beat the team they drew against the team, or they lost against the team last time out. You know, if you're going to look at the record, then Celtic at this ground last time out beat them 3-1. So you know, they were pretty comfortable. Apart from maybe there was about a 5-10 minute spell where Kilmarnock scored, and then I think it was Greg Taylor that got the third goal to sort of put it beyond Derek McInnes' side. So I don't think they use revenge as a big motivator, but you know, it's something that they can maybe look at in the back of their head. I don't think Brendan Rodgers is using it as any sort of ammunition in the team talks at all, but something to think about, I guess, subconsciously.
I think it's there. I think don't know if it would be mentioned in team talks per se, but I think a lot of the players would be motivated by it, you know. So just my own thoughts. But there you go. AGSC Tech 4-2 Celtic. He's saying John Milan coming in, buzzing for this. Come on, and then he's giving us a 4-1 prediction. So there you go. So just before you go, Ryan, guys, brilliant. 330 people joining us on a live stream. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And we're just about to head off and let Ryan go and get himself strapped in. Before you go, Ryan, will you give us a quick prediction?
Okay, I'm going to go for 3-0 Celtic. I think 3-0 would be a very good scoreline. You know, you've got goals, but you've also got a clean sheet, which is just as important. You know, get 3 goals in the goal difference. I would like more, but 3-0 would be a would be a respectable scoreline, especially against the opposition that they're playing against. And I'm going to predict that Adam Idah will get his first goal from open play today, alongside Palma and Kyogo.
Smell the glove, 4-1. I'm going to say, I usually go 1 up or 1 down, don't I? I'm going to be optimistic, Ryan, and say 4-0.
4-0.
Yeah, 4-0. Welsh Paul, great boys, thanks. Craig McMeekin coming in. Cheers again, boys. Some graft. Yeah, we're here. We're here and we're always here, as a famous man once said. And we'll be here post-match as well once all the work is done. Sammy the Squirrel saying 3-1. And Hazel Finn saying, if I don't see every Celtic player fighting for a win today, she'll be disappointed. To say she'll be disappointed would be an understatement. Sean Gregg saying, enjoy the game, Ryan, and everyone else too. I love you all. We're the best fans in the world. Very good. Pablo67 said, Celtic need to bring the atmosphere. That's something that will be interesting today, Ryan. You can let me know all about that. But we'll be on post-match, guys. You'll get notifications if you subscribe, of course. If you don't subscribe, hit that subscribe button if you enjoy what we do, both on YouTube and to the website. It costs you £4 for 4 months or £18 for a yearly subscription. Hit that subscribe button, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. And we say thank you to MPH Group for all your plumbing, heating, kitchen and bathroom needs. You can consult them, and all the links to their social media sites are in the description of this video, and the Navy and Boiler promotion if you're interested in that. So thank you to MPH Group. Ryan, go and enjoy the game, sir. And wherever you're watching the game, I hope you enjoy it, guys. Hope we're talking about another vital Celtic Scottish Premiership win as we count down. We're entering the home stretch now, Ryan. Every game's a cup final, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. That's the aim today. 3 points, few goals and a good performance. Those are the 3 ticks that have to be the 3 ticks that'll make Celtic on the day.
Indeed. Nice one. Guys, result dependent. We shall reconvene at some point this evening. Enjoy it, wherever you are watching it. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon. Ryan, all the best.
Cheers, guys.